Now at noon, a new report looking at the Longview School District's response to sexual assault allegations. What changes it's recommending the district put in place. Plus, ranchers in eastern Oregon joining the front lines to try to protect their property and the state from wildfires.
It's extreme high emotions. It's like you're living a living hell right now.
And later, Portland City Council and the Blazers is sitting down for the first time with a fast approaching deadline to fund Moda Center renovations. The sticking point, potentially holding back millions of dollars. And thank you for joining us on this Friday. I'm Tim Gordon. Our top story here at noon. At any moment now, the city of North Plains will convene an emergency meeting to select a new interim city manager. North Plains has seen several leaders and city staffers resign over the last year. That includes the city's mayor, who's stepped down on Wednesday, his predecessor, and 3 city councilors. It also includes the previous interim city manager, Gary Marks, who resigned on Tuesday after just 1 week on the job. The city says they intend to appoint Ross Schultz, who previously served as interim city manager for the city of Yamhill. And we'll have more on that later this afternoon. A new independent report is shedding light on how the Longview School District handled or didn't handle allegations that high school basketball players sexually assaulted their younger teammates. The report, conducted by an outside firm, recommends sweeping reforms. Last November, court documents show 2 14-year-old boys say they were forced into a dark room and sexually assaulted. 2 students have since been charged. The report found gaps in the district's sexual harassment, hazing, and bullying policies. Now it's recommending the district train school staff, improve locker room supervision, and ban cell phone use in those spaces.
As a parent, as any parent would want their child to be known that they're going to be protected and kept safe in an environment where they're supposed to be learning and preparing for their future.
Longview police also arrested Superintendent Karen Cloninger in May. She's facing charges of failing to report, tampering with a witness, and obstructing a law enforcement officer. The new acting superintendent says the district is already implementing some of the report's recommendations. And a reminder, if you or someone you know is a survivor of sexual assault, help is always available. Just call the number on your screen. It's 800-656-4673 to reach the National Sexual Assault Hotline. Right, turning to your weather headlines now with this live look over downtown Portland from our Rose City Skycam. A beautiful blue sky out there today in the Portland metro area. Let's get to Corey Johnson in the Weather Center for us. And Corey, it's supposed to get pretty warm today.
Yes, it's definitely going to get warm this afternoon and into the evening hours, Tim. But the good news is, if you're not a huge fan of the summer heat, we're going to have a little bit of a cool down as we get into our weekend, though. Taking a look right now out in Sherwood, our Chehalem tasting room camera sitting at 80 degrees right now and rather calm. The majority of us, though, still working up into the 80s. Some of us still in the mid 70s at this hour. 76 in Beaverton. Looks like the same for Hillsboro. 76 right now also in Scappoose. And a look from our Rose City camera. 75 right now. A little bit of a breeze out today, and that's really what you can expect to see for the rest of the day as we get into the evening hours. Looking at Futurecast as I roll things forward, not much cloud cover. We are staying very bright and sunny throughout the rest of our Friday. Another live look from the square at this time, 75 degrees. As I mentioned, the temperatures, they do get a little bit cooler for our Saturday and our Sunday. We'll break down the timing of that coming up, as well as what watches and warnings are still in place.
All right, thanks a lot, Corey. Well, Oregon is on pace to nearly match its all-time wildfire record of 1.9 million acres burned, which was set 2 years ago in 2024. That's the size of 19 Portlands put together. State fire officials estimate as of right now there are 48 active wildfires across Oregon. There is good news, however, with crews starting to gain ground in containing many of the larger fires. This morning, officials working on the Roe Creek Complex fire shared that it is now 52% contained. These photos show local residents in the unincorporated territory of Twickenham helping battle the blaze. The Roe Creek Complex has burned more than 309,000 acres altogether since it was sparked roughly 2 weeks ago. Firefighters battling the bench fire on the Warm Springs Reservation are reporting it's now 32% contained. Even with progress, roughly 80% of the reservation remains under evacuation orders, with more than 1,600 structures under threat. And as of this morning, the Grasshopper Fire, burning just southeast of Mount Hood, remains uncontained. This is a time lapse from yesterday showing smoke from the fire. At last check, it has burned more than 21,000 acres. And tonight, members of the community are invited to attend a meeting about the grasshopper fire that starts at 6 o'clock at the South Wasco County High School cafeteria that's in Maupin. Officials will be giving residents the latest information on that fire. There'll also be an opportunity for people from the community to ask questions. With so many active wildfires spread across so much space, state resources are being stretched very thin. Devin Haskins introduces us to some ranchers who have stepped up to work alongside firefighters to contain the flames and save their livelihoods.
We're up here today on the other fire.
He has a front row seat to the fire lines in eastern Oregon.
Kind of been crazy. These fires have just gone wild.
For the last week, Danny Posey has been working these lines.
Extreme high emotions. It's like you're living a living hell.
One fire after another near his ranch in Malheur County.
I was on a real good cat, so I was cutting high gear at about 8 miles an hour, laying that line over, and the flames are just running up the ridge right behind you. So, it's like, it's something that you just screw around, you could die.
He's a rancher, but he's also a member of the Gentura RFPA, the Rangeland Fire Protection Association. The group acts like a volunteer fire department focused on protecting more than 17 million acres of rangeland, crops, and sage-grouse habitat. There are 29 RFPAs across the state, made up of 1,300 volunteers. Some of them ranchers, just like Danny.
The local RFPAs with the local BLM guys, that's what's kind of out here getting this thing done. We've been going hard on this for a week.
And it's exhausting work in horrible conditions.
We've been sleeping 2 hours a night, and then you're running the 22-hour days. No naps, no laying down, no downtime. You're just going all day hard.
It is 1:30 in the morning, and so far we've punched 7 miles of dozer line.
This 24-hour time lapse captured by cameras from the Oregon Hazard Lab just shows some of the 200,000 acres the Coleman Creek fire has scorched.
As soon as any wind gets on the fire, it becomes quite a challenge to keep it within any control lines.
Because resources are spread thin, a team from California is leading this fire's response, made up of 150 firefighters, some even from the Southern Hemisphere.
We have firefighters from both New Zealand and Australia here on the incident with us.
For Danny, he's just tired of the fires and what he says feels like a lack of help.
Everybody just wants this to be over with, and we can't get no damn resources out here on these fires because there's so many fires in the west here in Oregon.
Devin Haskins, KGW News.
And now Oregon has launched a hotline for people impacted by the fires or wildfire-related air quality problems. To reach it, just contact the number that's on your screen right there. It's 1-833-669-0554. You can call the hotline for issues like losing a home or property, getting help while evacuating, and problems with smoke. However, the hotline does not provide immediate help. Anyone in imminent wildfire danger should call 911. Now to a look at your national headlines this afternoon. The Trump administration says it plans to rebuild federal election security infrastructure. The Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency says it will use security tactics employed during the World Cup to protect the upcoming elections. In a memo, the agency promised to release a public plan with resources for states. However, many experts and elections officials say it's too late for major changes to their protocols before November. The New York Times reports the Kennedy Center has stopped its free public tours after more than 50 years. The Times is reporting that an internal memo told volunteer tour guides not to show up to work until further notice. No reason was given in the memo, but a spokesperson for the center says they are reviewing tour routes across the campus. Amazon says it's received $600 million in tariff refunds and plans to use some of the funds to reimburse customers. The company's finance chief says refunds will be issued automatically if Amazon can trace specific import charges to an individual order, though in many cases third-party sellers paid the tariff, which could make the process more complicated.